Okay, we have started on the insulation. Now, I've seen a lot of people use 1.5 inches, whatever, I don't know, all sorts of stuff. But I decided to go with 2-inch insulation. The gap right here is just barely big enough to get it in there. And if I cut it in little 6-inch sections, I can push it down in there pretty easily. I say easily, but it was a huge pain in the butt. Very tight. And then I come in and fill around the cracks with this expanding foam. I also shot it in each one of these. Not each one, but randomly, just to kind of fill that air void. Because it makes me feel better. Probably doesn't do anything, but made me feel better. Anyways, been working on this. Now, I took the original, I guess it was 10 panels off the side here, and this, let me tell you, was a nightmare. I don't care what anybody says, compared to getting all these rivets and rivet studs out, the seats were like washing a big wheel compared to this. I mean, it still is a nightmare. I tried everything from, I broke probably 6 drill bits trying to drill them out. Half of them worked, half of them didn't. I used a chisel and a hammer on some of them. That worked on a few of them. And I will say this, there are a few of these that were, I think they were aluminum, and the drill worked great. It would, get a good bit bigger than this, almost as big as my finger, and put it right on the head, drill it. It'd drill out just fine, but I think they randomly put stainless rivets in this. So I would get to, I don't know, all of these, and then I'd get to 1 or 2 that had the stainless rivets, and it was an absolute nightmare. So on this whole side, I did the drill bits and, sorry, I can't talk. Drill bits and the chisel, and that was a lot of work. I ended up just ditching the drill bits and going with just a hammer and a chisel and absolutely annihilating it. And I think my forearms are 10,000 times bigger. Anyways, this side I actually took a grinder and a grinding wheel. It was somewhat easier, but it made a huge mess. It stunk like crazy. I mean, there was metal grinds everywhere. So if I had to do it again, I would probably go with the drill bit route, because I bought a really nice set of drill bits after I got done, because that makes sense. And I used it on a few of them and it worked really well. It was the least dirty method, but I mean, there were rivets all the way around these things, and it was terrible. And unfortunately, you're left with these little tabs that are left over from the actual rivet itself. Now, when I shove my insulation up under here, it's gonna bind on these and it's gonna drive me nuts, and it's not gonna go all the way to the top like I want it to. So, what I have been doing this entire time is I'll take the back side of a claw hammer, like this. I will turn it up in, just like this. The neighbor's nice house. But yeah, I will take the claw hammer, turn it, claw side up underneath, seat it right up against that rivet. One of the teeth on the hammer will sit right against that rivet, and I will smack that end, the head of the hammer, with another hammer, and it will usually pop these out pretty quick. Sometimes you got to come at it from either side. But that has worked so far to get those out. And then I have a nice clean area with no rivets. A little deformed, but not terrible. So that's where we are. Oh, I have everything taped off. So hopefully this will be where it's gonna go. I'm gonna have a shower here, have a incinerating toilet and a little sink right here, and then we'll have a refrigerator here built up off the platform, a little range right here. This will all be counter space, and then we'll have a big old kitchen sink right there. And I'm hoping this side will be whatever the hell we want. I don't know, I'm sure there's gonna be a couch somewhere. I don't know which side yet, but that's kind of the game plan as of right now. Gotta have the wife sign off on it, of course, but let's see. And I'm sure I'm gonna regret doing this insulation before I actually run the wires, but I've got to make some kind of progress on this thing. I know most people say, oh, I'm gonna do it in, a year or 2 years. Well, I've got 2 months, so yeehaw.